Hey everybody, Chris Yee here. Just starting off my Monday morning with a nice, healthy green smoothie drink, and I decided I'm going to take you a little bit behind the scenes, show you what it's like to be a video editor and producer here at the Dice Tower, what my week looks like, what projects I kind of do, and a little bit behind the scenes of stuff. So, cheers. Let's kick it off. Monday morning in the office, I stroll in. It's usually fairly quiet. Tom's often recording a review over on the side over there, so we'll leave him be. And then we got Roy, Kennedy, hard at work, Kennedy. So anyway,
make it happen.
This is my shelf of stuff to work on, and then this is my setup over here, schedule that we live by. We live by this thing, and then over here, this is my next project. This is the look back. So Tom schedules these things out. Here is 1 year, 5 year, and then 10 years ago, plus a sheet number 1, blank for no reason. That needs to be deleted. So here's Mike DeLisio, hard at work. Hard at work. Get back to work. Much better. All right. So anyway, getting breakfast prepared here. So it's board game breakfast time. So Tom is obviously in the studio, and Mike is back there running it, as you saw. And so what I'm doing is I'm obviously hanging out with a super cool chat. Y'all are awesome. But I'm also time-stamping the documents. This is how you get the magical timestamps, is I follow along, and then I write in the names of the contributors or what segment Tom's doing, and then I put the timestamps in there. The only way I figured out how to do this live is as it's going, I search back to the beginning and I get an idea of how many minutes and seconds back it is, and I type that in. Then I use this sweet Excel document that Roy makes fun of me for to concatenate the different parts of, so it basically puts together these 3 cells into one item here, and I can copy this and put it right into the YouTube video description. So that's how you get it for board game breakfast. There's too many B's in that. And then crowd surfing, I do a very similar thing. That's the crowd surfing format, top 10 lists and stuff. So yeah, you'll see that that's basically what's going on there. So that's how you get the magical timestamps via the magical elves. So a typical thing I work on Mondays, these are all the different libraries, the different projects I work on, you can see. But anyway, typically on Mondays, I'm working on lookbacks. And so that is this here. This is our Final Cut Pro library that we work out of. And so I'm in charge of the lookbacks. And so what you see is this, and then this is kind of a breakdown of the different layers. So you see there's the box cover image right there. There's the layer that shows the years and the ratings, and then this here is the graphic that it comes up in, that little spreadsheet looking thing. So I can mute that, turn it on and off. This is the white background behind the box covers, which helps it look a little bit less busy. And then you'll notice there's these little things here. This is something I did. This is for y'all, right? In this little graphic here, typically, do that, turn it off? Where is it? Yeah. Typically there's this little plus sign that I know would really bother people if it was in there. So I went through and I put this little box in there. So let me unmute it. Boop, and it covers that up. And so I do that for y'all so that it looks nice. But anyway, guys, so this is what's going on, the motions behind the scenes down here when the transitions and the switches happen. And sometimes Tom says something wrong and I have to have a little note pop up. So that's what this note is right here. So that's kind of what the process of look back is. I'm comparing against the numbers that Tom gives me here for his different games. And then I pop them into the video file.
Interesting idea.
So there you go, done with look back. I'm very proud of this little fade out here. You can see all the layers just kind of disappearing right around the same time. I'm very happy with that. Also, you get a kick out of this.
On the Dice Tower.
I have definitely accidentally rendered look back without cutting off the end where Tom walks away off the camera. It's very awkward. So Wendy's down. We're in the beach studio. Beach studio.
Hey, nothing like Florida.
Except the beach.
Oh, okay. I thought you said, this is nothing like Florida. No. This is very Florida colored.
Okay, this is very Florida, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, we're about to do some reviews. We're about to film Monasterium and...
Cooper Island.
Cooper Island, yeah, that's the one. And then we're going to also today do a 4 squares of Zapotec.
Zapotec.
So I'm here in the main studio. I'm setting up Zapotec right now for the overview that I'm going to film. And I'm going to talk about, this is where we film. Hey, this is how the game plays and everything. So you can see we got the camera set up here. I personally prefer to use an overhead camera when possible. We have one of that set up in like the beach studio. I really like that because you got to, as you're explaining the game, and turn the camera around. As you're explaining the game, you gotta kind of reach around the stuff here, whatever. So it's not like, oh, woe is me, this is so difficult. But I really kind of prefer to, I prefer to be able to reach normally, stay seated and stuff. Instead, this is kind of the position that we're in when we're filming the overviews overall. So, well, anyway, this one's going to be a good one. So watch out for this 4 squares review. It'll probably already have gone up by the time that this behind the scenes goes up. All right, just finished filming the overview for Zapotec, and I forgot one rule that I was going to say, but you know what? We'll discuss it in the review. Maybe, or we won't talk about it. It's okay. You don't have to talk about every single rule when you do an overview, but that's so hard to remember sometimes. But it'll be okay. So this is what I mentioned. I really like using this overhead camera that we've got placed above the table here in the beach studio. So you can do just a direct overhead shot of everything. And in fact, we set up this monitor over there. Oh, so you can see me. Hey, there's me. So we have a monitor set up so that we can see exactly what we're looking at. And then we got a boom mic set up in this studio here. So anyway, this is the beach studio. So we're almost always using this front-facing one. And so this cable running up actually connects right to the camera. So I switch that out when I use the overhead. So that way the boom mic runs straight into that top camera. But most of the time, like when Z shoots Board Game Breakfast and stuff in here on Thursdays, that mic we remove it and put it into the front-facing camera. We're about to start our live play. So that's our monitor of what it looks like when we're doing this. Roy is behind that. He's hidden. There he is. It's like a mole, like a whack-a-mole game. Anyway, I'm going to be running it from the other side tomorrow, so that'll be cool. I'll show you what that's like.
Yeah, the costs are there. And then you're going to roll on your turn.
So now we did the overview, and then when I recorded the actual review part of it, I put them together here. So you see the different parts of it, boom, 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 boom. And then this info page I have to change out every time, because right now this is still Vinos. And so I go down here, I render out these info pages in Photoshop, change out all the information, and then I take the actual image. Let's make people motion sick. Whoop, drop it in there, replace retime to fit, so that's the exact same amount of time, and there you go. So that makes that part. Just drag and drop in and edit whatever you need. Cut off the beginning and the ends of all the recordings very awkwardly. But then this intro part, I really like the little intro I made for myself. Let's just kind of dissect this really quick. All right, so you see how this purple layer right here that says a dice tower. So that pops in, and that's where the curtain effect comes in, right, as it slides in from the sides. And so if you mute that, you actually just still see very awkwardly Wendy and I behind it. The dice tower is a separate image that slides in. The little dice person is a separate image that slides in. And then this is the part, the little purple thing on top is the part that says in Wendy, because I need to make a separate intro for when we both are in a review, but here we go. These little parts right here, these are the keyframes that show like each image kind of acting on its own. So this is my little dice person up there. And so from this keyframe to this keyframe, it's sliding in. From here to here, it's shrinking, so it falls back. It looks like it's falling back along with the dice tower. Bloop. Hit the play button, boop, and then from one dot to the other it's rotating, and then from this dot out it flies off the screen. So that's kind of what, anyway, so that's just a fun little thing of how that works. And so this is our intro or review of Monasterium. Ooh, that's a good face, look at that fella. I have made my magnum opus. I'm in charge of the top 10 list intros, and this is the greatest thing. You are very sorry, Mike. This is the greatest thing that I've ever done. I especially love this little touch here. You see how there's 2 different text boxes that say the same thing? That creates this little this little effect here. Hey,
what's going on right here?
You're not supposed to see this.
Huh?
You're not supposed to see this.
I don't like this.
Oh.
There's a lot of stuff to keep track of. Okay,
Here we go. Here
The assembly of the track is a thing of mystery and
We're all supposed to be
and
on this
wonder.
marbles contest.
And by mystery and wonder, I mean here's how it's done.
The what?
The marbles contest.
Oh, you know
Our
what?
field of scientists are hard at work, our team of scientists are hard at work trying to figure out the optimal way to utilize these bugs.
I say let's use the blue one.
What are you doing?
Here we go.
Ready, set, go! Pinball, pinball, pinball!
Oh, the pinball, right.
Run, 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 run.
Hit him with a pinball.
And they're off! Oreo's trying to get in first place!
Oh, the bug got pinballed.
Oh my goodness. Ah, my personal space is being invaded. Oh!
Snow Tiger came in first!
You guys all were being naysayers. I told you the tiger was waiting to pounce.
I may say it.
We're just getting ready, set up now for our live playthrough of Lords of Ragnarok. So this is the setup over here. We got cameras running into here. We've got cameras running through cam links into adapters, into plugs, into dongles, and so we've got. So basically, this is kind of how we do the main running of the stream. You can kind of just see here from the screen. So we play our intro, which is the button right here on the stream deck. We can switch to the main people view, and then from there you can go to the overhead view. Roy, give me the horns. From the overhead view, we can use this switcher to change up which camera is the main highlight, the overhead camera or the focus on the miniatures camera. And then, yeah, with these we can switch back and forth. If there's any contest information that pops up, it's usually these things right over here. I don't think there will be one for this play, but
Why don't you have this?
in fact, some of the stuff in here is still loaded from the Autumn Spectacular. That's where all these different intros are. These are the different segments here, the top 25. This stream deck really makes stuff easy to run. You can technically do it all right here in, what's it called? In the eCam that we use. But it's easier when you got this kind of super setup that Roy put together. And you might be wondering, why is this duplicated, the screen right here? One, it's easier to kind of monitor on this side, but on the other side, we have the screen triplicated. That's me.
The only time I'll be at one.
We have it triplicated over here, so this is how they can kind of monitor themselves and the comments on the side and everything. So this is quite the little rig. That's fun to operate, actually.
That's pretty specific.
Good? Good?
Looks good.
Okay.
Oh, you're in the theme, man. I tell you.
Go ahead, Mike. It's your turn to get in the thing.
Vikings.
No?
Alrighty, this is an upcoming game. It's coming to GameFound in just a couple days here from.
So my task today is to assemble the top 10 list PowerPoint that everybody gets to see. And so the items here are put together, and so Tom gave me his list, and then the other guys send them to me electronically or whatever, because Tom is a troglodyte. But there is something on Tom's list here about the things that Z is wrong with that Mike completely forgot about, and he's going to kick himself so hard. But I cannot say anything. I must watch these vast multiverses. I am merely the watcher. So one part about every top 10 list is that we have to make the thumbnail image for it, and so we have a basic template that we use, and we have the image that we pop up in the background. The little dice people are all different, different little layers that we can kind of manipulate and stuff too, and resize. So it's really fun to work in this realm because there's so many. There's so many good images that Tina the artist did, and then occasionally you get to just scribble like a toddler, and that's considered work. So during crowd surfing, I'm also doing timestamps and keeping up with the chat. Once again, lovely people in the chat, super awesome. So while they're doing this, I'm doing the same thing where I go back how many minutes and seconds, and I try and timestamp from there. I've got a timestamp document here like I showed before. I put all of this stuff in this formatting here so I can just type in the timing. I've pre-typed in the names of the Kickstarters, and then I've also copied and pasted the links over here from. This is the master document that Tom sends out each week. This is how we look over all the stuff for crowd surfing. So I paste all the links here. That way, all I have to do at the very end of this is just copy and paste this whole block of stuff into the show notes, and that's how we get the timestamps for crowd surfing. So one of the more interesting things that I'll do with the job is that sometimes I get the birthday cards and stuff from the Kickstarter backers, and they send them out, outgoing mail, bada bing. So, Daniel, sorry I couldn't find a stamp yesterday. I meant to mail that out yesterday, so Daniel, you get a special shout out. If your birthday card comes late, sorry, I barely remember where stamps are at any given time. So anyway, happy birthday to you, man, and thanks for supporting the Kickstarter. So anyway, that's just another part of the thing that I do with the Dice Tower. So when we do our top 10 lists, we have the little outro over here. And so this is one of the things I also put together for that. And I have to be reminded sometimes by nice people like Roy to change the title of the list. But that, that's a non-issue, because the internet is so kind and understanding that they surely will not point out every editing mistake that I ever make. So yeah, so the Photoshop file, I use one of the world's greatest photo editing softwares to, draw beards and glasses on people. But anyway, so we go up here to the PowerPoint, and then I assemble this as well. So everybody gives me their picks for the lists, and then sometimes they pull out the box cover, sometimes I do it, and I put these in here myself. And just, this is kind of what we're scrolling through as we're going through the list. This is the Z is wrong list. And then I usually make a little outro clip as well, or the little outro frame, just because, it doesn't look as good if you're just sitting on the last, like the number one pick for the rest of the outro of the video. So yeah, little things like that. And then when there's a people's choice, not every top 10 can do that. So you can just kind of slide this little people's choice thing in and out. Either put this little, thanks for watching below it or above it. Basically, that's, when whoever's running it, usually Roy knows how to end it, but I'll be running this one. So we'll take a look. Roy's going to teach me how to do that later. So I try to vlog or do behind the scenes of kind of like a normal week, but because things are always changing, there's never like a normal week. So one of the things I did today was I put together an intro for a new project or not a new project, but like a special project and everything. Like, oh, this is going to be, we're going to do some live play, kind of like Testing Tuesdays from back in the day, where we just play games and, it'll just happen. So we're calling it, we'll play it live. And so putting together little intros like this, it's one of the fun creative parts of the job that it's just cool. This didn't exist before, and I put it together. We use a couple of different resources. There's a website called storyblocks.com where you can kind of type in, different things that you're looking for, like saxophone, and it'll bring up little clips and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, a lot of YouTube kind of people do this, and you try not to do too much of it, otherwise it starts looking really cheapy and weird or whatever. But, you do it in the right touches, like in this video, hopefully, with this little, live music, get it? We're playing it live. Anyway, and that's where that little marquee comes from as well, that we're scrolling through. So hopefully stuff like that is, fun touches. I like working a lot to make these intros and like the top 10 intros and stuff. Roy's teaching me how to set up the top 10s here.
Yeah, so we have the scene, and of course we'll zoom this out, and then that's the computer scene, and then intro and outro. Whoops, spoilers. And then all the numbers. But yeah, that's basically how that works.
Very cool. And now, so this laptop, Roy has magically configured to go into this cable, which goes into the splitter, so that the splitter can go into the streaming computer, but also the other cable goes all the way out to yonder television, which is how you see it in the big frame. And then also, of course, we're seeing the monitor here of what is streaming out.
List.
All right, go ahead, Roy.
Okay, so for my number 9, this is a game that is full of story and crazy choices. This is basically a choose-your-own-adventure. This is Tales of the Arabian Nights. Oh. So Z rates this a 3 as well. He hates Tales of the Arabian Nights. And I mean, this is another game that's just literally just fun.
Bit of a leer, or actually just Z's hatred of hype.
This would totally be on my list, but I forgot this one. Yeah.
Give me the brand.
8 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back.
All right, my number 8.
Roy's prepping himself a favorite game Friday.
It's Halloween games.
Why?
Because it's spooky time.
Week in review time, Chris. Week in review.
Mike is prepping himself for week in review.
I'm telling you, it's high level. I don't know whose card. Chris, whose card is this? Do you know?
I'm right here, Mike.
Oh, whose card is this? Do you have any idea?
So what I'm doing here is I'm using Ecamm, which is our streaming software, but also recording software, to be able to capture Fulvio's this guy who does the storyboard game. So we do the board game stories this way. So I capture his YouTube video, take the audio from it, and I put it into Audition, which is the audio mixing software, and then that's where I record the voiceovers based on the scripts that he sends me. And then the scripts that he sends are sometimes, you know, they're translated from Italian into English, so I spend a little time to fix it up. And so these are two of them that I'm going to be doing, War of the Ring and Night of the Living Dead Zombicide. So now I'm set up over here to record the audio part of it. I don't have like a great sound booth, so this is the one I made up for myself. Wait, are you listening to rock and or roll music?
I am.
In this office?
In this office. Tom is not here right now, so it's okay.
Ah, got it. Yeah, there you go.
I have permission, not in writing.
Yeah, it's the implicated.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah. So I'm going to be recording some stuff over here now. So this is the video file. You see that big green thing across the top there? That's the audio file from Fulvio's original video in Italian. And then this yellow stuff down here is going to be my recording stuff that I do through here. There's actually even a little reference video here that kind of shows where it is. Along in the recording. That way I can kind of have a visual cue and stuff. So that's kind of how I do the audio part. All right, I just finished up 2 of these. My voice is a little bit tired. Did War of the Ring and Night of the Living Dead Zombicide. So you can see War of the Ring has a lot of dialogue and narration over it, but I'm excited about how these are going to turn out. And if you haven't checked out the series, it's one of the most fun things, different, unique things that I do. Just what is the story of a board game? And when you have a game like War of the Ring, it tells a cool story. I'm a little bit ahead for the week. It's Friday afternoon, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to help out. I don't always do them, but I'm going to do some Dice Tower daily unboxings. And so we got the camera set up high here. And the perfect thing about this table is that it certainly isn't right against the light that I want to stand right here. Oh, by the way, this is where I keep my lab coat and my other stuff over here for when I do dumb videos. But anyway, gonna do some Dice Tower daily unboxings now. So that's it. That is a normal-ish week. Like I said, there's no such thing as truly normal here. In fact, this week we were just preparing everything for the Orlando Dice Tower retreat. So this footage is a few weeks old because we've just had a lot to do since then. The We'll Play It Live week and then prepping for the next retreat and future conventions and stuff. So yeah, that was a fairly normal week. That's why I particularly tried to film it, because from now through the end of the year, there's just going to be a lot of different special things going on. So I hope that gives you an idea, kind of what it's like here. And so now I'm looking at myself from a few weeks ago, and it's weird because actually this Monday footage I'm wearing the same shirt. So I promise I own more than one shirt. But anyway, now you know how the sausage is made, and it's disgusting. Thanks for coming by the Dice Tower. Have a great one.